When I started self-improvement almost 2 years ago, I would be very quick to indulge in instant gratification. The moment I wanted to, I would just do it. Sometimes I would say to myself, tomorrow morning you're going to do that morning routine that you saw online yesterday, and it's pretty doable, you should be able to do it. Then I wake up the next morning feeling like, I don't really want to do it, I'm tired. And I would just grab my phone as the first thing and then just not do any of the things I've promised myself. And I was obviously mad at myself because I never stuck to what I said. I never lived up to my younger self's dreams. I didn't care so much if I messed up until when I had messed up, because then I realized what the problem was. If you don't already know me, my name's Loris and I help young men fast track their self-improvement success. You're clearly interested in that, so just go down and click that subscribe button. But my mindset happily changed. I've changed it now, and every time I want to procrastinate or I don't really feel like doing the work, I think about my younger self. I remember that feeling that he had, the situation he was in, how bad he felt, how shit he felt, and how badly he wanted to change. I remind myself of that, and I think, why am I here today? Why do I feel better today? It's because my younger self wanted to change, and over the course of the next days, weeks and months, he continued to work towards his goal of changing. So when I'm sitting here today and I don't really want to do the work, I think about that younger self and I don't want to disappoint him. The reason why today is better is because my younger self yesterday did the work. So if I don't do the work today, tomorrow will be worse, and the next and the next and the next. And you see, suddenly you're in a downward spiral where everything just gets worse because you didn't do the work. Because nobody comes to do the work for you. And if you keep going down that spiral, you can eventually come below where your younger self, who said he wanted to change, were. Think about that. The guy that you was before, saying to yourself, I hate the place I'm in, I want to change. And you do. And suddenly you're below where that person was. That is probably the worst feeling you can ever experience. So what do I do in those situations where I want to procrastinate? As I said, I think about my younger self. I look up at the papers on my wall right there. You see those up there. I look at those papers. And then I remember the person who wrote that. The person who sat on the desk right behind me, writing that he was dissatisfied. He didn't want to live this life anymore. He wanted to change. He wrote down the goals with convictions that he was going to make it. And now I'm sitting here today saying to myself, but I don't really want to do it. No, I can just skip today. When you think about your younger self, knowing that he sat there right behind on that table, writing down how he didn't want to live that life anymore, what goals he was going to achieve, being convinced that was what was going to happen, being convinced that he wanted to work towards those goals and he wasn't going to stop. When I think back to my younger self and knowing that he's been sitting there thinking those thoughts, I don't want to disappoint him, because then I'll always be that guy that quit. I always see that myself as the guy that quit and be the guy that couldn't live up to even my own expectations, because the goals that your younger self set and the things that he said is the expectations you have to yourself. And if you can't even live up to your own expectations, then your mental health plummets, because I've tried that many times. Where I've set goals, especially at the start of my journey, set goals and then just procrastinated, not completing any of those goals. And I would just feel so bad because not only couldn't I live like normal life, just like normal, I couldn't even succeed on this path and live up to what I said to myself, you have to do these things, because you can't betray yourself. I think about that a lot. He was so convinced that he was going to make it happen. And I can't betray him. I can't disappoint my younger self. That would be the worst feeling, knowing that I had literally betrayed myself. Especially the younger version of myself. And that's when I come to the conclusion that I might as well do the work, because if I do the work, it'll be hard. And if I don't do the work, I'll suffer the feeling of not doing the work and not living up to my younger self expectations. So that's when I get to work. If you find this video valuable and you want to see more videos from a smaller YouTuber just like me, then go down and click that subscribe button right now. It's a win-win for both me and you. Also, check out our small Discord server. It's a small brotherhood that we're trying to grow, and I would appreciate if you join in there, and I'm going to be happy seeing you there. And also, last but not least, as I always say, put one foot in front of the other.